The African grasslands are not only places of survival, but also battlefields of constant confrontation between predators. Among them, hyenas stand out with their persistent tactics, ability to read the situation, and seize opportunities when pressure begins to build. From stealthy approaches to accelerating close-range attacks, each encounter demonstrates how hyenas control space and change the course of the battle. In savanna grasslands and semi-arid regions, zebras live in herds and maintain distance to observe each other, remaining constantly vigilant. The open environment allows them to detect danger early and maintain stable movement, preserving their formation. High stamina, long-distance running ability, and powerful hind kicks help zebras maintain distance when approached. Soon, the hyena begins to move slowly from behind, maintaining a low formation to avoid detection and preserve the initial distance. They don't attack immediately, but follow for an extended period, spreading out to force the zebra's direction, further constricting space before accelerating to close in and launch an attack from multiple directions. When the zebra begins to slow down and constantly change direction, the hyena increases pressure from multiple sides, forcing one individual to separate from the herd. When the pressure increases significantly, the separated zebra loses its rhythm and constantly changes direction, altering the course of the battle. The hyena continues to closely monitor and control the surrounding space, maintaining its position from multiple directions to gain an advantage. The battle ends when the hyena gains control of the separated individual, while the zebra pack maintains its formation and moves away from the area. At this stage, the hyena maintains its position behind and uses its body weight to limit the antelope's head toss and horn use. The targeted individual gradually loses its rhythm and cannot maintain a stable direction when attempting to change course. The hunt ended when the time is right, the antelope lowers its guard during rest periods after feeding. The hyena moves low from behind, maintaining distance to avoid detection and maintaining initial pressure. It follows, spreading out to force the antelope's movement, then accelerates to close in with its rear body and launch an attack. In the open grasslands of East and South Africa, antelopes maintain positions in areas with good visibility to detect threats early. They generally avoid dense vegetation, staying elevated whenever possible and maintaining constant vigilance within the herd. Their good stamina, ability to maintain a steady pace, and well-developed horns and neck and shoulder muscles help them maintain distance when approached, and pressure begins to build. In the vast grasslands of East and South Africa, wildebeest move in herds, maintaining distance to observe each other and remain constantly vigilant. They are well adapted to open environments where their long-distance vision helps them detect danger early, maintaining a stable formation. Their high endurance and ability to sustain long journeys allow wildebeest to maintain a steady rhythm. Soon, as the herd passes through an open area, hyenas spread out and observe from the edges, maintaining initial pressure. They don't approach immediately, but take turns following to force the wildebeest to change direction and constantly adjust, further tightening the space. When an individual begins to lose rhythm, the hyena accelerates, closing in and launching an attack from multiple directions. When the pressure increases significantly, the targeted individual loses its rhythm and the distance narrows, changing the course of the battle. Hyenas continue to pursue, maintaining their positions from multiple directions and controlling the target's movement space, sustaining their advantage. The hunt ends when the hyenas maintain control and defeat the individual, while the wildebeest continue to move. Wildebeest maintain their advantage by maintaining a stable formation and movement rhythm before it is broken. When the rhythm is disrupted, their defenses decrease and distances are no longer maintained. Exposing weaknesses, hyenas maintain sustained pressure and seize opportune moments to control the target. In the vast, sparsely forested savannas of Africa, wild dogs operate in packs in open spaces with excellent visibility. They maintain a reasonable distance and constantly observe to control their surroundings. Their high stamina and rapid recovery allow wild dogs to maintain an advantage when moving and becoming a target. At that point, the wild dog pack had just finished hunting and were holding the carcass of their prey. Hyenas, attracted, began approaching from the edge of the area and applied initial pressure. They moved cautiously, then accelerated to close in and launch an attack to break through the defenses. In this situation, the wild dog pack formed a defensive circle and constantly shifted positions to maintain distance. As the number of hyenas increased, the formation stretched and the advantage diminished. The confrontation ended when the wild dogs retreated, and the hyenas gained control of the food source. In sparsely forested and savanna areas, leopards operate alone and maintain distance from their surroundings, initially taking the initiative. They use the canopy and terrain to ambush, observe before acting, and maintain an advantage, keeping control of the situation. Their well-developed shoulder and neck muscles help leopards control their prey, thus shifting them into a state of being clearly watched. Soon after, as the scent of prey spreads, hyenas begin to approach from the edge of the area, maintaining distance to avoid detection and building initial pressure. They observe and wait for the opportune moment before the leopard has brought the prey to a safe position, further closing the distance and tightening the space. When the opportunity becomes clear, the hyena accelerates, closing in and launching an attack from behind. As the pressure increases, the leopard loses its ground advantage and must move to avoid confrontation, altering the course of the battle. The hyena maintained its position close to and controlled the area around the food source, holding the advantage and maintaining pressure. The confrontation ended when the leopard retreated to a higher position, while the hyena retained control of the prey. The events show that the leopard held the advantage by controlling the prey in the early stages, before the pressure became apparent. As the pressure continued, its ability to hold the prey decreased, and its position became unstable, causing its advantage to diminish. The hyena took advantage of this moment to maintain control and end the confrontation. In dry grasslands and dense bushland, rhinos maintain a steady pace and often move near water sources to regulate their body temperature. Their thick skin helps them reduce the impact of the environment and maintain a consistent movement rhythm, thereby controlling the surrounding space. Their strength is concentrated in their head and neck, and their short bursts of acceleration give them an initial advantage. When a mother rhino appears with her calf on the grassland, hyenas approach from multiple directions while maintaining a safe distance, creating initial pressure. They don't attack directly, but circle around, constantly checking the mother's reaction and trying to separate her from her calf, gradually closing the gap. When a small opening appears, the hyena increases pressure and closes in to try and break through the protective position, forcing the situation into close confrontation. As the pressure increases, the mother rhino maintains her position at the front and adjusts her movement to shield her calf, maintaining her advantage. If the rhinoceros formation holds firm, the hyena has no chance of controlling the area and is forced to retreat, reducing its effectiveness. The confrontation ends when the rhinoceros holds its position and forces the hyena to retreat. In the open savanna, with low grass and scattered bushes, lions establish their territory around water sources and prey gathering points. Their wide field of vision allows them to observe early and organize ambushes when necessary, maintaining the initiative. Their well-developed shoulder, neck, and foreleg muscles help lions control space, shifting to a state of being watched from a distance. As soon as the lion pride leaves the feeding ground, hyenas maintain their distance and only approach when their alertness decreases, creating initial pressure. They observe from the edge of the area, waiting for an individual to separate from the group or slow down, gradually closing the distance. When conditions are favorable, the hyenas accelerate, lunging to try to bite and pull from behind, forcing the formation to react immediately. When the distance is shortened, lions react quickly and advance to maintain a safe distance, turning the situation around. They coordinate as a group, overwhelming and pushing back approaching individuals, maintaining control. The battle ends when the lions hold the area and force the hyenas to retreat. Overall, the lion holds the advantage when defending territory and food sources. When an individual separates from the group, the hyena can exploit the situation, but must retreat quickly if the risk increases. The balance tips in favor of the lion due to its strength and quick reflexes, while the hyena maintains its advantage through observation and timing. In open grasslands near rivers and lakes, buffalo maintain large herds and move in formation to constantly observe and maintain initial stability. They utilize open space to detect threats from afar, while maintaining close ties between individuals in the herd, thus maintaining control. Their thick horns and muscular necks and shoulders help buffalo maintain control of the space. When the herd enters an open area, hyenas spread out and approach from multiple directions at a safe distance, creating initial pressure. They don't charge directly, but follow, forcing the herd's direction of movement and continuously monitoring their reaction, further tightening the space. When an individual shows signs of slowing down, the hyena accelerates, closing in from behind and launching an attack to try to break through the defensive position, shifting to close quarters combat. Once the pressure clearly increases, buffalo lower their heads and turn to maintain formation, preventing any gaps for the opponent to approach, thus maintaining their advantage. The herd continuously adjusted their positions and supported each other to maintain a safe distance, reducing the effectiveness of the approach. The confrontation ended when the buffalo held its formation and forced the hyena to retreat from the area, closing the situation. Each encounter reflects the difference between direct power and sustained strategy. The hyena maintains pressure, reads the opponent's reactions, and waits for the opportune moment to intervene. Stay tuned to discover the next developments in this series of confrontations. On the vast grasslands of Africa, the lion is always the dominant predator, capable of closing in with lightning speed before suddenly lunging at its prey. However, not every attack ends in victory, as many prey animals manage to react strongly enough to fight back and disrupt the hunt's rhythm at the first point of contact. In this high-pressure confrontation, the ability to maintain position, sustain a continuous attack, and control distance is what ultimately determines the outcome. In the open savanna, adult giraffes move slowly near the herd, constantly observing their surroundings. Thanks to their superior height, giraffes can detect danger from afar before other species can react. Their long legs and powerful kicks allow them to maintain a defensive distance when unusual movements begin to appear. From behind the sparse bushes, lions silently lower their bodies, trying to close the distance to the giraffes approaching the edge of the herd. Lions don't engage directly too soon, instead looking for opportunities to disrupt the giraffes' movements as they turn. But when the lions suddenly accelerate, the giraffes quickly change direction and counterattack, forcing the lions to retreat. The attack quickly loses its advantage as the giraffes maintain their distance with long strides across the grassland. Lions continue to pursue closely for a short time, but the giraffes' constant reactions prevent them from maintaining a stable approach. The hunt gradually came to an end as the giraffe returned to the herd's formation and the lions began to leave the area. In the sparse, dry grassland, adult oryx slowly move around the edge of the herd in a state of alert. Oryx usually live in groups to increase their vigilance, with healthy individuals taking positions on the periphery when the herd rests or grazes. Their good heat tolerance and steady movement allow them to remain calm when signs of danger begin to appear near the sparse bushes. While the oryx maintains its steady observation, several young lions silently close the distance from various directions. The lions attempt to circle around to find an approach point, but the oryx detects them early, lowers its center of gravity, and turns its face toward the danger. When the lions suddenly accelerate, the oryx immediately points its horns forward and responds with short headbutts to force the lions back. These repeated approaches do not give the lions an advantage against the oryx's quick reaction. The young lions gradually became more cautious as the oryx's horns remained consistently oriented in a defensive position throughout the confrontation. The struggle slowed down as the lions could no longer maintain a stable approach in the face of the oryx's continuous responses. On the dusty grassland, adult buffaloes moved slowly on the outer edge of the formation, constantly monitoring changes around the herd. Buffaloes always maintain a very quick reaction to signs of danger, especially when many young individuals are standing behind the protective line. Their strong front bodies and thick horns help them maintain stability when unusual movements begin to appear near the low grass. Hidden among the dusty patches ahead, lions began to shift positions, slowly closing the distance from the buffaloes near the edge of the herd. Lions tried to apply pressure from multiple directions to force the buffaloes out of their defensive rhythm, but the buffaloes quickly turned and charged straight forward. This unexpected reaction caused the lions to immediately scatter and retreat from the dusty area. The chaotic movements quickly drew many other buffaloes back towards the pressured position. The defensive formation gradually closed, leaving the lions with no safe space to continue their approach. The standoff slowly came to an end as the buffalo herd remained in formation while the lions began to move away from the area. In the dusty, open field, the adult rhino constantly shifted its position to monitor any movement around it. Despite its poor eyesight, the rhino reacted quickly thanks to its hearing and ability to sense vibrations near the ground. Whenever it sensed approach, the rhino immediately turned its head to keep its opponent within close observation. From the edge of the grassland, the lions began to move slowly, maintaining their distance to observe the rhino's reaction. The lions didn't rush in too quickly, constantly changing positions and attempting to approach from various directions. But each time the distance narrowed, the rhino quickly spun around and lunged forward, forcing the lions to separate. After several attempts to approach, the lions gradually lost their ability to maintain pressure around their target. The rhino consistently maintained the initiative with short but decisive reactions, leaving no safe space at close range. The slow confrontation ended when the lions began to leave the area, while the rhino remained in its position in the open field. In the vast savanna, the mother elephant moved slowly with her calf, constantly observing changes around the herd. Elephants don't react with panic, but rather assess danger before acting. Their tusks and large bodies help them maintain a defensive stance when unusual movements appear near the low grass. From behind the dry grass, a group of lions silently approached, trying to close the distance to the calf. The lions didn't confront the adult elephants directly, but sought opportunities in the gaps between mother and calf. When the lions suddenly accelerated, the mother elephant immediately turned to block them, then advanced, forcing the lions back. The mother elephant's call quickly drew other adult elephants back to the calf's position. The gap the lions were waiting for disappeared as the protective formation began to close around the calf. The hunt ended with the lion's defeat as the elephant herd continued to move in a stable formation. On the tranquil riverbank, the adult crocodile lay low below the water's surface, only its eyes and nose visible as it monitored the river's edge. Crocodiles possess a strong ambush instinct and often wait silently until prey moves into an unfavorable position. Their strong jaws and bodies adapted to the water give them an advantage when the lioness brings her young closer to the soft mud. The lioness slowly descended to the water's edge, observing the river while keeping her young behind. When the crocodile suddenly lunged from the water, the lioness immediately turned and advanced to block its approach. However, the soft mud quickly slowed the lioness's movements in the face of the crocodile's swift reaction. The confrontation quickly shifted as the lioness lost her advantage near the water's edge. She was forced to move her young away from the mud before the danger escalated. The hunt gradually ended as the crocodile maintained its advantage at the boundary between water and land. Near a carcass lying on the dry ground, spotted hyenas constantly moved and sniffed around the feeding area. Hyenas have a very keen survival instinct and can easily detect signs of rivals from afar. Their strong jaws allow them to utilize even hard bones, so the hyenas maintained their position around the carcass in the open field. While the hyenas remained in formation around the carcass, several lions began to approach from the edge of the grassland. The lions suddenly accelerated, charging forward to force the hyenas out of the area, causing many to temporarily retreat. But the hyenas quickly signaled for reinforcements and continued to pressure the lions. The atmosphere around the feeding area quickly changed as more and more hyenas formed a wide circle around the carcass. The lions tried to maintain their position, but the constant pressure from multiple directions gradually eroded their initial advantage. The confrontation ended when the lions were forced to leave the area and the hyenas returned to the carcass. The contest showed that strength isn't the only factor determining outcomes on the savanna. For hyenas, coordination and maintaining group pressure were what gradually helped them regain the upper hand in the prolonged confrontation. In the muddy river, adult hippos stand near the water's edge, constantly monitoring any movement around them. Hippos have a very strong territorial instinct, especially when danger approaches the water or their offspring. Their heavy bodies and strong jaws help them maintain their composure when unusual movements begin to appear near the shore. From the low grass near the water's edge, lions silently lower their bodies and slowly move towards the hippo. Lions try to create pressure from various directions, but when they get close enough, the hippo immediately lunges forward to block their approach. The hippo's sudden reaction quickly forces the lion to change direction and retreat from the soft mud. The lion gradually loses its ability to maintain pressure as the hippo continues to react aggressively around the water's edge. The lion continues to move around the area for a short time, but can no longer find a suitable approach point due to the hippo's strong reaction. The confrontation gradually ended as the hippo slowly retreated further into the water and the lion began to move away from the shore. After intense chases, not every lion hunt results in a win-win situation, as many prey animals manage to react and change the course of events at the last moment. In the vast savanna, the ability to maintain formation, fight back relentlessly, and control distance has often completely disrupted the rhythm of attacks. Follow the channel to continue exploring these fierce confrontations and the most authentic survival moments of the wild.